Hello, welcome to our Flow and Restore yoga right after the rains here in Los Angeles. We're just talking about the smells and the vibrant colors in nature right after the rains. Let's take a moment to find a comfortable way to sit. You want to make sure that you have quite a few props for this practice: a bolster, a blanket, two blocks, a strap, and anything else that you think you might be able to use. And find a way to sit that allows you to feel tall, relaxed, and grounded. So I want to share a little bit more from my experience with visiting Thich Nhat Hanh's Deer Park Monastery in Escondido recently. And it was just a lovely reminder when we started the practice, the whole day of mindfulness, with mindful walking. And I love the way the nun who was guiding us explained how to practice mindful walking. And she said, imagine that you have been gone for several years and you're just arriving again in this place that feels so nostalgic to you. And so you walk differently. It's like you treasure each step that you're there. And then another way she explained it, which I love, was to walk as if you're free. You're not bound by time. You're not bound by an agenda. You're not bound by a particular destination. You have arrived with each moment, each breath. And I thought that was so beautiful because here in Western culture, busyness, multitasking, how fast can you go are priorities, being as productive as possible. And it's easy to forget that joy is not necessarily from checking as much things off of your to-do list as possible. It can bring some joy, but sometimes we can do all these many things and we're not really present in doing those things. In a mindfulness seminar that I went to years back, and it talked about when you are so-called multitasking, what happens is your attention is actually decreased, and there's no possible way that the brain can pay attention to more than one thing at a time. So you're either, on the telephone or you're driving or this or that. There's this very scattered energy, and there's not a fullness of presence in any of those tasks simultaneously. And so my question is, like, how fully do you choose to live your life? How fully do you choose to live your life? It can be as simple as sitting down and being right here, appreciating the aliveness of just being here in this moment. So, how can we bring that attitude of slowing down and really cherishing that we get to be here in this breath right now, in this body right now, which is aging, right? Which is constantly changing. But here it is right now. Like, can you appreciate all that came together for you to be in this single moment, which will never be the same? It's constantly changing. And so with that, I invite you to take a moment to, if it makes sense to you, close your eyes, allow your attention to scan your physical body really slowly, paying attention to the myriad sensations of your body's aliveness, including the aches and the pains and all the so-called pleasant feelings in the body, all of it. Can you feel this breath? No need to control it or change it. And the next breath, bringing a curiosity to what you're noticing about your breathing right now. Through its various qualities, letting the breath inform you about your energy. something that's sometimes so subtle that maybe we're not paying attention to our energy. Notice how your mind is feeling. Notice how you're feeling emotionally. And then let's start to really savor the breath. So slowing it down, breathe in, feel each part of the way in. And then as you open the mouth, feel each part of the way out. What would it feel like to breathe as if you're free? Just like that mindful walking, mindful breathing. Arriving with each new breath. Nowhere else you need to be right now. Nothing else you need to do but breathe slowly and feel it. What is something about this new moment that you feel gratitude for? Clarify what you would like to focus your energy on. What kind of energy do you want to practice yoga with today? Knowing that what you practice, you strengthen. Having set your intention, think of someone that you would like to dedicate your practice to today. This is a way of remembering that we're not just practicing for ourselves, we're practicing for each other. And together, let's join our voices in support of each other and connecting with our Mother Earth through vibrational sound, chanting Om 3 times. Let in a deep breath. Still savoring mindful, slow breaths. Let's begin to practice a breathing technique that helps us to invite balance of energy as we move our bodies, as well as calm and focus. It's called Ujjayi Pranayama, which means victorious breathing in Sanskrit. And it's done by closing your mouth and breathing just through your nose. And then creating a gentle whispering sound by softly constricting the back of your throat. Can you hear your breathing? So as you get that started, let's try a few cycles of balancing it intentionally in and out together. And listen to the sound of your breathing. Can you make it really smooth and sustained and gentle? So let's place the hands on the left and right walls of your rib cage, if that feels okay for you. And as you breathe in, invite your side ribs to very gently expand. And as you breathe out, allow the muscles between the ribs to relax. Okay, I'm going to start with 4 counts inhale, 4 counts exhale, and I'll incrementally increase the counts so we can get a little deeper with each breath. Okay, prepare to begin by emptying this breath. Closing the lips, creating the whispering sound. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mentally count a few more cycles on your own, choosing a number that you can sustain equally in and out while breathing smoothly and steadily. Now listen to the rhythm that you have set in the sound of your breath and see if you can keep it consistent throughout most of our physical yoga, especially the first half of Vinyasa Flow, where we're going to move to the sound of the breath. So we had a request to focus on the lower back and the upper back. So upper spine, lower spine, and then we'll continue with our heart openers, shoulders and extension as well. So let's actually grab a strap like we did our last practice. And I invite you to sit in hero's pose if that feels okay for you. That's where you set your knees in front of you and either sit directly on your calves or you can sit on a block or 2 blocks stacked between the ankles, which makes it easier on the knees. Take hold of your strap between your hands so that your hands are spaced wider than shoulders width apart. If your shoulders tend to round forward or feel really tight today, go even wider, but hold the strap taut so it's not hanging loose like this, it's a straight line. Drop the shoulders back and down, sit tall, and listen to your breath. Let's move to it. Keep the arms straight as you inhale, raise the arms overhead. And as you exhale, reach the arms behind you and down. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale them forward and down. And just like that for several more cycles of breath, keep going at your pace. Breathing in to lift up. Breathing out to lower. As you lift the arms, continue to press the shoulders down and lengthen your neck. Remember, you can space your hands apart as wide as you need so that you're not bending your elbows. And if your shoulders feel warmer, you could step the hands closer together, making it more challenging. Notice the sensations throughout your shoulders or wherever you're feeling this the most in your body right now. Bringing that same attitude of curiosity, which allows you to dissolve any need to judge what you're observing as good or bad, eliminating that duality sort of mindset. All right, couple more cycles of breath. All right, release the strap. Let's continue warming up the shoulders and the spine. So please come down to tabletop pose. Hands and knees. Spread your fingers flat and stack your shoulders right above your wrists. Step your knees a couple of inches behind your hips. And as you breathe in, glide your chest forward and coil it up into cow pose. As you breathe out, contract your belly, rounding your back into cat pose. Several more. Inhale, roll your shoulders behind you and down, looking up. Exhale, lift your navel towards your spine, tuck the tailbone under. Keep going, listening to the pace of your breathing and matching it with your movements. Let's continue the movement into the lower body. So at the end of the next exhale, lift your hips high and draw them back, entering downward facing dog. Let the head hang loose. As you pull your weight towards the back of the mat, spread your fingers flat. Inhale, bend your right knee. Swivel your hips to your right side as you press the left heel into the ground. Exhale, bend your left knee, swivel your hips to your left, and drop the right heel. Let's keep going. Inhale, bend right, swivel right. Exhale, bend left, swivel left. Couple more times on your own. Can you feel the stretch along the sides of your torso as you swivel? You're pulling the hip back as you straighten the leg. Now come back to center, bend both knees a lot and lift your sitting bones higher, draw them further back. And now see how much you can press your chest towards your shins. Drop the skull, shake it out, nod your head, lift the shoulders back. As you press the chest back, now begin to contract the abdomen a bit. Seal in the bottom of your front ribs. Direct your tailbone higher and further back. Now begin to sink your heels deeper and deeper into the ground, even if they don't touch it. You can also keep the knees bent. Can you still hear your breath? Inhale, raise your right leg back. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose. Round in plank pose. Lift the belly high. Inhale, raise your right leg back. Now keep the shoulders leveled. Exhale, twist. Cross the right knee to touch your left elbow or tricep. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, tap the knee outside the right upper arm, forward in plank. Inhale, raise the right leg. Now this time, keep the leg lifted. Bend the right knee and turn out the thigh at the hip. As you let the head hang loose, breathe in, tack the left hip back. One more time, exhale, bend the knee towards your nose. See if you could actually touch your nose as you're really engaging the abdomen. Gently step the foot forward beside the right thumb. Stay high on the ball of your left foot and relax the shoulders down the back. Keep your fingertips on the floor or place them on blocks. If your shoulders are rounding, if you elevate your hands, you can relax the shoulders more easily. As you breathe in, square the hips, keep the front knee bent, lengthen the crown of your head forward. As you breathe out, draw your right hip back and straighten your front leg to whatever's comfortable. Reach your chest forward simultaneously and bow as if you have a flat back. Again, inhale, high lunge, bend the front knee just above the heel, look forward. Exhale, pyramid pose again. Draw the right hip back, reach the chest forward and bow. 3 more times. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Now inhale to your lunge. Keep the left hand down directly under the left shoulder. With your right hand, cup the top of your right thigh and draw it back, sink it down while you press the left heel further back. So you're leveling the height of your 2 hips. Stretch your spine down the midline of your mat. Send the shoulders down the back. Breathe in. Keep your pelvis still and rotate your chest to the right as you breathe out. Then raise your right arm up. Spin your right tricep to face your right wall. So pinky finger pointing at the right wall. And extend your right arm overhead towards your front wall. Keep twisting and twisting as you breathe. Now notice your hips. Make sure the right hip is just as low as the left hip. 2 more breaths. On an exhale, step to plank. Top of a push-up. Pause there. Press back through the heels if your legs are straight. Otherwise, you can place the knees down. Lift the sides of the belly. Rotate your triceps towards the back wall. Lengthen your crown forward. 1 more inhale.
As you exhale, glide forward, come up high on your tiptoes. Bend your elbows back at right angles, hugging your side ribs, lower through chaturanga. Come all the way down. Point the toes back, press the tops of your feet firmly into the ground as you actively stretch the legs long. Forehead to the floor. Bend your elbows apart like the shape of a cactus. And start with your shoulders. Feet stay on the floor. Inhale, peel your shoulder bones behind the ears. Press them down the back, and then lift the chest. Now, by rotating your shoulders further back, invite your palms to start facing towards the front of the room, not using the wrists. Keep the wrists in line with the elbows. Use the shoulders. Feel the back muscles at work here. One more deep breath in. Exhale, lower the forehead. Now let's try twice more, one breath each. Tops of the feet press down. Inhale, peel the shoulders back, lift the chest. Turn the palms to face forward by rotating the shoulders back. Exhale, release. Last time. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, glide them down, lift the chest, lengthen the neck. This time, plant your hands alongside your floating ribs. One more breath in, cobra or upward facing dog. Draw the shoulder blades down. Engage your abdomen to exhale, lift your hips back into downward facing dog. Let the body be still. Listen to 2 cycles of breath. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, bend the knee high towards your nose in plank pose, rounding your back. Inhale, raise the leg back. Now twist at your waist, not your shoulders. Exhale, cross the knee towards your right elbow or tricep. Inhale the leg back. Exhale, tap the knee outside the left upper arm, forward in plank. Inhale the leg back, keep it lifted, drop the head, and bend the left knee towards the sky, turning the thigh open. Stay there. Inhale, tack the right outer hip back. Exhale one more time, knee to nose. See if you can touch your nose. Step the foot beside the left thumb. Come up high on your fingertips in a high lunge, bending the front knee just above the heel. As you breathe in, glide your shoulder blades down the back. Create length through the center line of your body as you're pressing the inner right heel towards the back wall. Now, as you exhale, scissor the left outer hip back towards straightening the legs and extend your chest forward as you bow with a flat back. Pyramid pose. Let's keep going. Inhale, high lunge. Pull the left outer hip back, chest forward, pyramid pose. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Now come back to a lunge. Keep the right hand down directly under the right shoulder. Use a block if you need. Cup the top of your left thigh with your left hand. Draw the left outer hip back, sink it down, and press your right heel back as you inhale, stretch your spine forward. Keep the shoulders relaxed, and at your waistline, exhale, twist to the left and raise the left arm up. Try to keep your 2 hips leveled here. Rotate your left tricep to face the left wall so your pinky finger is pointing at your left wall. Then extend your left arm overhead towards the front wall. Keep pressing the shoulders down the back. Continue to twist, breath by breath. So this is a variation of twisting side angle pose, or in Sanskrit, it's called Parita Parshvakonasana. One more deep breath. Exhale to plank pose. Pause there for 3 breaths. Knees down or legs straight. Actively lift the sides of the belly. Rotate the triceps back. Lengthen your neck. Try to go very slow and controlled. So engage the abdomen as you exhale, glide forward. Graze your elbows by your ribs. This time choose cobra or upward facing dog. As you breathe in, draw the shoulders behind you and down, lifting the chest broad. Engage your abdomen to lift the hips. Press the tops of your thighs back, arriving in downward facing dog. Listen to your breath as you steady your gaze and still your body. Smooth, deep breaths. Please come down to your knees and bring your feet together to touch. Sinking your hips down to your heels. Extend the arms forward like you're actively trying to reach something in front of your mat with your hands. At the same time, pull your hips back, slide your shoulders back, and rest your forehead down. What would it feel like to breathe intentionally across your lower back? And then climbing the breath across your middle back. And then climbing the breath even higher across your upper back and neck. Keep lengthening in both directions of your spine and keep your heart and head close to the ground while walking your hands over to your right side as far as you can comfortably reach, lengthening your left side body. And then crawl your hands through center and reach over to your left, lengthening your right side body. Come back through center and slowly rock forward. Take your time, no rush, honoring slow pace. Come forward to tabletop pose again. With your knees a couple inches behind the hips and your shoulders stacked above your wrists, let's come into thread the needle, opening across the upper back with a twist. Now you can keep both knees on the floor as we'll be threading the right arm under the left bent elbow. But if you would like to stretch your inner right thigh while you're there, you could try stepping the right foot out to your right side so your leg is straight and the sole of your right foot is flat on the floor in line with your left knee. Now, if you get into the pose and this makes it too cumbersome, you could always place the right knee back down. So press the ground away with your left hand. As you breathe in, sweep your right arm up high and open your chest. As you breathe out, begin to thread your right arm underneath your left bent elbow and rest the right side of your head all the way down. Now, if your head does not comfortably rest on the ground, use any of your plethora of props nearby as a pillow. Try to feel that your left and right hips are at the same height so you're not twisting at your lower back. You're keeping it safe. Instead, can you invite the twist to happen right underneath your rib cage, across your waistline? And as you relax the shoulders away from your neck, find space throughout the sides of your neck. And where is your body asking for your attention right now? What would it feel like to breathe into that spot through visualization? check in with the expression on your face right now. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm focusing, I have this like really stern look on my face. So, can you relax your eyebrows, relax your tongue, maybe even cultivate a subtle smile like we talked about a couple weeks ago, that attitude of friendliness with the present moment. Last two deep breaths. And slowly press back to all fours and just pause there for a few breaths. If you want to come into downward dog to pause, you're welcome to be still there. So choose a spot to be still in and just observe for a moment. Feel any way your body is responding to that last pose. What information are you receiving through the quality of your breath? And then take your time from hands and knees. If you stepped your right foot out on the first side, you might try stepping the left foot out on the left side, see if that's available. Press the ground away with your right hand. Inhale, sweep your left arm towards the sky. Exhale, begin to thread the left arm underneath your right bent elbow, resting the left side of your head all the way down. Remember to use a prop under your head if you need it. Level the height of your two hips, stabilize your lower back, inviting the twist to deepen right across your waistline. Glide your shoulder blades both down your back ribs, inviting length throughout your neck. And then listen to your breathing. Immerse in that sound. Last two deep breaths. And gently come back to downward facing dog or tabletop pose, whatever still position you arrived at after your first side. As you cultivate stillness, cultivate awareness of the subtle details of this present moment. Now let's get into the fronts of the shoulders. As you breathe in, come forward to tabletop or plank pose, you decide. Lowering all the way down to your belly. Rest your right ear on the ground. Slide your right arm wide out to the right side with the right palm face down in line with your right shoulder. Press the ground away with your left hand beside your left shoulder and gradually take your time to listen to your body. Roll towards your right outer hip. Slide your right shoulder blade further down your back to lengthen the right side of your neck. Observe the sensations, especially at the front of your right shoulder, guiding you to how far back you need to lean to receive a balanced opening. Not too much, not too little. Some of you might go as far as stepping the left foot behind you or not. Some of you might explore the flavor of wrapping the left arm behind you. You might even add the right knee bending and setting it on the floor. Whatever your body is asking for, let's breathe into this consciously. What if each breath was a prayer of thank you to this body, which has been your vessel for how many years? A prayer of thank you to this life, this opportunity to be on this planet with each other right now. How would you breathe differently if that was the energy you're breathing with? Last 2 deep breaths. All right, take your time, be gradual as you transition back onto your belly. You might make a pillow out of your forearms to rest your forehead on and just rest for a moment. Be still, observe. It can be very valuable to pause between each side of poses to really get to know how your body is communicating to you, or to even attune to the subtlest energy shifts. Remembering we have a multitude of energy centers besides the 7 chakras all throughout our bodies. All right, when you're ready, slide your left arm wide to your left side, palm face down on the floor. Tilt your left ear to the ground. Press the floor away with right hand. And take your time. Notice what might be different on this side of your shoulders. You might not have to go as far as you did on the first side if you're truly listening to your left inner shoulder. Rolling towards the left outer hip, breath by breath. Send your left shoulder blade down your back ribs, lengthen the left side of your neck. Explore your options to vary this pose as your body is asking. Let your breathing support this process of tuning in and creating space in your body for energy to flow in balance. Last 2 breaths here.
And then very, very slowly start to make your way back onto your belly. You might once again rest your forehead on the pillow of your forearms and just observe how your body is responding to that. Feel the quality of your breath, observe your energy. Start to slowly crawl your hands alongside your shoulders and very gently press yourself up to sit, bringing your legs out in front of you. Let's integrate this openness in the front of our shoulders with some release for the lower back, specifically the area of the psoas, which is a deep muscle that is in the lower back and crisscrosses the front of the hips. It's part of the hip flexors and it goes beneath the digestive organ. So it's pretty deep. So let's set up our bolster. Now you can either have the bolster flat, tracing the lengthwise midline of your mat like this. So your pelvis is spaced maybe a few inches away from the bottom end of the bolster. Or if you want a little more lift, so it's like a reclining chair, you can place a block, say medium height, underneath the furthest end of the bolster and lowest height wide across the mat, a little closer to you. So there's a gradual incline here. And now with the pelvis on the floor, bend your knees and step your feet apart, wider than your hips distance apart. You might even go as wide as the width of your mat. Lying all the way back onto the bolster. Take a moment to see if it feels comfortable and it allows you to drop the fronts of your shoulders back so you can open the chest, feel a gentle expansion in the chest. All right. If you're good there, lower back feels okay. It's the bolster is not too low, digging into the lower back, or too high. You might adjust where your pelvis is in relation to the bottom end of the bolster. Then let's get into the psoas. So with your feet apart, knees apart, keep your feet where they are and slowly drop both knees to your right side. So the legs don't touch each other. It's an open twist. Now, while you're here, make sure that your left knee is tracing down the center line of your mat. So you might have to scoot your left foot over to the left a little to do that. And now pay attention to what you're experiencing in the sensations, especially along the front of your left hip and the left side of your lower back. What are you noticing there? Personally, I'm noticing my left knee talking to me. And if that's happening to you, if you have tenderness in the knee, flex your left foot or the foot of that same knee. It just helps to engage the muscles around the knee just a little bit so that you're not twerking the knee. Okay, for some of you, you might not be feeling much on the left side of your psoas. So then you could cross the right ankle over your left thigh just above the knee to encourage lengthening the front of the left thigh forward. You could also explore raising the arms overhead and holding opposite elbows. That just helps to open up the front of the torso a bit more if you need that. All right, feel the fullness of your breath. Take your time to savor each part of the inhalation rising to the top and each part of the exhalation releasing to empty. Last 2 deep breaths here. And then gently lift your knees, step your feet on the ground. Just pause at center. You might release the arms down again, slightly apart, palms up, and just pause. Notice what is happening in your body right now. Notice what your body is letting you know. All right, with your feet apart, wider than hips width, and your knees just as wide apart, keep your feet where they are and drop your knees both slowly to the left. Slide your right knee if needed so that it's pointing down the midline of your mat. Pause here and observe the sensations, especially around the front of your right hip and in the right side of your lower back. What's happening there? Notice how different sides of your body might have different needs. So what does this side of your psoas need? Do you need to stay here? Or do you need to explore going deeper by crossing the left ankle just above your right knee onto your right thigh? Might you raise your arms overhead and switch, holding the opposite elbow over the other? And once again, dive deep into the nourishment of each breath, as well as the opportunity to shed any sort of stuckness or denseness you don't need with each out breath. A constant renewal through each breath. Okay, final 2 breaths here. Very gentle and move slowly. There's no rush to get anywhere. Be in each moment that the breath is in. As you start to uncross the legs and step the feet on the ground and release the arms out by your sides, palms face up, and just observe. What's your body saying now? All right, friends, find the gentlest way for you to lift your torso up to sit so that we can practice one more breathing technique before we rest in corpse pose. And position your body in a way that you can breathe well. You might like to sit up on a pillow. Maybe switch the cross of your legs if you were crossing them before. All right, so let's come back to the same practice that we were practicing earlier this week called Durga Pranayama, or three-part breathing. Its effect is meant to relax the nervous system more deeply. And remember that all of these pranayamas, according to some schools of yoga philosophy, are also a means of meditating because you have a one-pointed focus. You're focusing on the breath, which is only happening in the present moment. So this technique is done by imagining that your entire torso, which is from your pelvic floor all the way up to the top of your neck, is divided into three cross sections. The first cross section is from the pelvic floor up to your belly button all the way around. The second encompasses most of your rib cage. The third includes your chest, upper back, shoulders, and neck. And three-part breathing goes like this. We'll inhale 1/3 of the breath, think 3 counts, into the lowest section, then pause. Then we'll inhale another, say 3 counts, into the midsection, then pause. Then we'll inhale the last 3 counts up to the top of the torso. As you hold the breath, you want to make sure you're relaxing and observing your body. And then through the nose, we'll exhale for about 9 counts. Everything out. We'll hold the breath, once again, sitting tall and relaxed and observing. So that's one cycle. Let's practice 3 cycles of Durga Pranayama together. And I invite you to continue then 3 cycles on your own after that before we let go of controlling the breath. Then we'll sit to observe its effects. So sitting tall, relaxed, you might close your eyes as we're practicing. You might also find it helpful to place a hand on your chest, indicating the top section, and a hand on your lower belly, indicating the lower section. Prepare to begin Durga Pranayama by emptying this breath. Into the lowest section, inhale 1/3. Pause. Into the middle, inhale 1/3. Pause. Into the top, inhale 1/3. Hold the breath, relax, sit tall, observe. Through the nose, exhale about 9 counts. Hold it out, sit tall and relaxed, observe. Second cycle. Inhale the first section. Pause. Inhale the middle. Pause. Inhale the top. Hold, relax, observe. Exhale very slowly. Hold at the bottom, relax, observe. Third cycle. Inhale the lowest section. Pause. Inhale middle. Pause. Inhale top. Hold it in. Exhale slowly. Hold it out. On your own, please continue 3 more cycles. Without any rush, when you have finished, feel the difference of breathing naturally and observe the effects of that pranayama.
And as you continue to be observant of your inner world and your natural breathing, please start to make your way down into your final resting pose, your chosen way of lying down. You can use any of your props. If you'd like lower back support as you're lying on your back and the legs are extended straight out, you could place your bolster under the backs of your knees to support a light bend. You could place, for grounding support, the weight of a folded blanket over your pelvis and lower belly. To support tuning inward as you close the eyes, if you don't have an eye pillow, you could fold up your strap and place its gentle weight over your eyes. So be intentional of how you're placing your body. Invite a sense of symmetry, restfulness, and stillness. And as you arrive, drop right in. Shavasana. What do you feel in your physical body? Honoring slowness, the value of taking your time. Please begin to gently move your body, starting with slight wiggles and nudges, easing into turns and stretches, like you're enjoying being in this body, in this brand new moment. Please start to turn over onto your right side and just rest your head there. There's no rush to lift your body up. Just stay on your side for a few breaths. What do you notice about your energy as you feel the breath? Staying aware of that, gradually lift your body into a comfortable way to sit, where the length of your spine invites an alertness of mind, where the openness in your chest invites an openness of mind and heart, where the balance of your pelvis and legs meeting the earth invites a feeling of grounded energy. And then let your hands be intentional. You can stack the right palm, which symbolizes wisdom, held by the left palm, which symbolizes compassion as the thumb tips gently touch. You might find it helpful to tune inward by keeping the eyes closed. Now, I'd like to try something different today. One thing that inspired me from mindful walking, as explained by the nun at the monastery, was to think of somebody that you are walking for. Maybe they can't walk for themselves right now for some reason. So I'd like to bring that into sitting meditation. Think of somebody that you are meditating for. Maybe you know a loved one that is very busy and believes they don't have time to rest or feel peace. So, what would it feel like if you're meditating for them? Can you bring that into your energy as you're observing your breath and enjoying being still and present? And if you happen to find your attention wander off into a busy mind, not wanting to be still in the present moment, can you give yourself a gentle smile of love and a thank you to yourself that you noticed? And you've given yourself a choice to be present again by coming back. Noticing where your attention is now, smiling gently to yourself. I thank you for being here in this present moment. One meditation practice Thich Nhat Hanh would teach is a, a mantra as you're breathing in naturally, saying to yourself mentally, I breathe in. I know that I'm breathing in. And as you breathe out, naturally breathing out, exhale, I arrive. Inhale, I know that I'm breathing in. Exhale, I arrive. You could repeat that to yourself mentally as you breathe naturally. Notice how your mind feels right now. Notice how your heart feels. And remembering that our formal practice of gathering together like this is not the only time that we practice yoga. It's sort of a place where we recharge or sharpen our practice so that when we're in the world in our daily lives, that's where our yoga practice is lived in action. So, in what way can you bring something doable, no matter how small, from this practice today into where you go next? Maybe even into your weekend, so that in some way it benefits well-being, yours and those that you interact with. As we bring this formal practice to a close, I invite you to allow a moment to practice gratitude. Think of someone or something right now that you appreciate. And I invite you to include yourself. And then remind yourself the intention that you set. Remember to whom you dedicated this practice. And together, in union with our Mother Earth, let's join our voices with 3 ohms. Let in a deep breath. Hum. Hum.
Hum. And bowing in towards your heart center, smiling towards your heart, honoring the light within. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.